friends! Today we are going to go behind the scenes on my recent Disney parody music video, Take a Hint. This project was cursed. La 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 la. Basically just like an improbable number of things went wrong. It was just like one disaster after another, which means it was a learning experience. So hopefully you can learn from my mistakes, or at the very least this will be entertaining. So I wrote this video years ago. It was one of those projects that I didn't think I had the resources to pull off for a really long time. Prep for a music video with this big of a cast can be really challenging. I needed to find 4 singers and then 4 additional actors. I needed 8 costumes, and I was really hoping to get a guest star because I felt like that would add some punch to the video. Mary Kate Wiles was my first pick for a guest star, and I was so pumped that she was interested in the project. I struggled the most with casting Hades because everyone that I wanted for that role just wasn't available that weekend. But eventually I got a recommendation from a friend, and he agreed to make his own costume, so everything was on track. Despite a lot of the cast covering their own costumes, I still had to make a new Megara dress because I had sold my old one, and a Jafar costume. So I got started on that and all the other prep for the video. All the studio scenes I wanted to record just right here in the basement, so I went ahead and ordered some new cloth backdrops and just called that good. But for my second set, I really wanted us to shoot in an actual bar, which can sometimes get really expensive. But luckily, a small bar just down the street from my house agreed to let us come in on Sunday while they were closed and just film there for free, so everything was coming together. I needed a videographer for this project, and so I asked my friend Mandy, who you may remember from doing the videography on my Look What You Made Arya Do music video. Mandy is super new to shooting video, but her photography work is gorgeous, and I figured it could be a learning experience for both of us. The next step was getting all the singers together to record the audio for the song. Mary Kate wouldn't be able to record her audio until she came into town for the filming weekend, but the other 3 singers could record ahead of time. It was going to be me as Belle, Ray as Esmeralda, and Kate as the voice of Jasmine, because the face of our Jasmine, Laura, isn't a singer. So we were planning on meeting at Blake's to record audio there, but at the last minute he had a family emergency and Kate couldn't reschedule to another day. I told you this shoot was cursed, right? Because this is just the beginning.
Due to scheduling difficulties, we are doing audio in my parents' basement by ourselves. Yay! Why am I always hit on by the guys I never like? You can burn this whole place down, can't boss this witch around. I'll pick the pyre any day. Take a hint, take a hint. Take a hint, take a hint.
The night before Mary Kate was flying in, I hadn't heard from my Hades in a while, and I was starting to get a little frantic. We had already been in communication, but I hadn't seen a picture of his finished costume, and I was starting to worry that he hadn't gotten it done, and that we were gonna have to like finish that costume on Saturday morning. But it was worse than that. I woke up at 6 a.m. Saturday to a message that he had sent at 1 a.m. telling me that he hadn't been able to get the weekend off work, which made me feel a little bit like Hades myself. As far as I know, he had never even started his costume. So now I had to find a new Hades actor and put together his entire costume before Mary Kate flew in at noon. Luckily, people are always willing to step up when disaster strikes. My fiance Josh agreed to play Hades, which was very brave of him because he has almost no experience in front of the camera. My mom took on the shirt, and Kat, a local cosplayer, offered to make the skull pin that holds his toga closed, and luckily we already had makeup artists lined up. By the time Mary Kate actually touched down in Denver, the fire had been miraculously put out. Of course, Josh is not an experienced actor, and I decided that he would probably feel more comfortable acting opposite me than opposite Mary Kate, so I switched our roles last minute. By the way, Mary Kate nailed it, even though I was making her sing a different part than the one that she had rehearsed with no notice. We recorded her audio and re-recorded my audio right here in the basement, which isn't exactly the ideal studio.
Why am I always hit on by the guys I never like? Ask my hand in marriage, yeah, you put me on the spot. Don't talk about my curves, can't you try to be polite? Hope a hydra comes and bites you in the...
Next up, we were filming about half of our studio scenes. Ray and Carl were first as Esmeralda and Frollo, and then after that, Mary Kate and Jessie as Belle and Gaston.
Oh my god.
Carl was such a convincing Frollo that we were all getting creeped out just watching him. And while Jesse was clearly born to play Gaston, he is so tall that he had to film all of his scenes with his legs like 4 feet apart so he would be short enough to fit on the backdrop.
Sorry.
The next day we started out with Jasmine and Jafar's studio scenes.
When you can, just like put a hand on her shoulder or whatever, and I think otherwise you sort of follow.
Just so you know where your frame is, don't step too far to the left or to the right because we'll step out.
Basically, keep your feet where they are.
Keep your feet planted.
Are we ready to
are
try it out?
rolling.
I'm just being nosy.
All right, we are going. Incredible.
How did I get so low?
Is this good? Did this work?
This looks amazing.
Okay.
I'm so happy you guys are killing it.
But wait, we hadn't had a disaster in at least 24 hours. Was the curse lifted? No. No, it was not. Turns out that the owner of the bar we were going to be filming in had not realized that that Sunday was a Broncos game, so they decided to open the bar anyway, and they told us on Sunday morning. They did say we were still welcome to film there, but we had no idea how loud or crowded it would be, and for people who aren't experienced actors, acting and singing where strangers can watch you can be really awkward. Luckily we showed up and there were only a handful of people there. The bartender was really friendly and helpful, and nobody seemed too bothered by our presence, or our singing.
This G rating is really gonna climb out.
That's very suggestive.
Don't laugh me too hard. Oh shit. So if you want to come over here and just like lean against the wall and like or lean over or whatever, and then we'll do the next one. So let's do that.
Well, I'm gonna ham it up. You just tell me. I'll go here, and if you want to dial it back,
Yeah.
we'll do that.
You've been great. So
I have been great. Thank you.
No qualms about.
In character.
Once we got done at the bar, we returned home to film the Meg and Hades studio scene. Of course, at this point, Josh had been in makeup and prosthetics for many hours, which he was not used to, and he just really wanted to get it off of his face. Oh my gosh, we did it! We just wrapped, and I'm so happy, and it's done. Yay! Jasmine's so beautiful. Yay! Look at everybody! We're so lovely. I want to take
We
this
are
wig
lovely.
off my
Look at
head.
that.
There's Gaston. Great. I hope that you like this video. It's probably already done by the time you're seeing this, so I hope it turns out good. I don't know if it's going to turn out well yet, so we'll see. Yep. And thanks to MK for coming out for this. This was amazing. Thanks for bringing me. Yay! Bye. Overall, despite all the last-minute problems, we had a lot of fun filming, and I was really excited to start editing together the footage. But there was one more disaster in store. When I checked out the final footage, it all seemed kinda low-res. I was like, did I make some sort of mistake downloading the files? No, we just shot the entire video in 480p. Mandy was new to shooting video, and I am not, so really it was 100% my fault that this happened, for 2 reasons. One, all of the Aria footage that Mandy shot for me for my previous music video was also in 480p, and I just didn't notice. And 2, a real professional takes test footage and then looks at it on their computer screen to make sure everything is right before they do 2 straight days of filming. So while I'm sure it was a learning experience for Mandy too, for me it taught me that when I work with beginners, it's my responsibility to support them through the process. In any case, I did my best on the editing, and even though I am disappointed in the quality of the footage, I learned so much about editing in Adobe Premiere for this video. I learned to selectively replace colors and create masks. I learned all kinds of color correction things that I can apply to every future video that I shoot. Problems like lighting inconsistency and poorly hung backdrops are things that ideally you would deal with while you're shooting the video, but now I know that if I do have to deal with them during editing, I am capable of doing that. So to recap, on this cursed project, things went wrong with audio recording, cinematography, casting, costuming, and location. But you know what? We had a ton of fun filming it, and people seemed to really like the final video. I learned so much during this project, and not just about what not to do next time, but also that no amount of crazy last-minute obstacles can stop me. Every single thing that came up, we were able to deal with, and in the end, the video is still fun, it's still cool, and people still like it. If there's anything to take away from this, it's that creative projects are constant learning experiences for everyone. Take notes, do better next time, and keep trying new things. Thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe for more music videos, hopefully not cursed next time.